Hi there. I've had a fantastic little opportunity of being able to play Agatha Christie Death on the Nile early. And I wanted to kind of give you some of my interpretations, impressions, and such and such. So first off, I'd like to thank for the opportunity for being able to play this game early. That's just such an incredible thing. And as I'm sure a few of you know at this point, I do quite like me a good detective game, whether it be things of like Return of the Obra Dinn or Root Trees Are Dead, just to name a few. And this one absolutely sounded like it was going to be right up my alley. I'll kind of tell you how some of the prologue went. I don't want to spoil too much of the story or anything, I feel like that would be wrong. The prologue shows us playing as Hercule Poirot, who's a Belgian detective in quite a lot of the Agatha Christie novels. And he's entering a disco nightclub of his friends in London in the 1970s. Everything seems like it's going well until all of a sudden a mystery is afoot. A ring has been stolen, ruining an engagement, and embarrassing a lord. Using your amazing detective skills, such as talking to people and asking the right questions, and also just a bit of evidence gathering, you're able to start unraveling the mystery as you've been hired by your friend. Pro bono, of course. Interrogating people, eavesdropping, there's a variety of tactics that you can use to learn things. You have to piece things together as well in your mind table, mind palace, mind tab? I forget what they call it. I feel silly now. You can also do some character profiling and figure out certain aspects of people. There are also fun little segments where you have to deduce things yourself in the mind tab. Now, luckily in this prologue segment, nobody got hurt or murdered, which is always a nice thing to kind of start with. It's just a simple thievery, which I had a fair bit of fun solving this one. I gotta admit, it didn't find it to be the hardest thing to start with, but again, it's a prologue. I don't think it was meant to be too difficult, so I'm really excited to sink my teeth into some of these further chapters and really see how difficult this case gets. Whereas the majority of the game will end up taking place most likely on the steamer of the Karnak, which happens in the novel. To my understanding, the game is quite similar to the novel. It follows a lot of the same kind of stuff. There are major changes in the fact that there is a second character who is also playable and has her own different kind of detective play style. But for the most part, a lot of things are meant to be quite similar to the book. So the thing is, if you know the novel, you'll probably know how a lot of this is going to go. So don't spoil it for nobody, okay? That'd be lame. Another major change from the game compared to the novel is the fact that it's set in the 1970s as compared to in the 1930s in the book. I've always found Agatha Christie's stuff to be quite incredible because it's always these. I mean, and it's not always a murder mystery, but there usually is some involvement of a murder mystery with it. But they tend to be rather complex and really well detailed and interesting tales that you might not have really thought about. And I know. For me, I've always liked the idea of being able to play an Agatha Christie just because I like to solve crimes and things like that of myself, as I'm sure a lot of people do these days, But I like things that challenge me mentally and make me think and allow me to, really view things from more than one perspective, right? I've always enjoyed that. And I've really been enjoying playing this prologue so far. I'm really excited to sink my teeth further into the game. But what I'm probably going to do, because you see, my dad also quite likes Agatha Christie. And I think it would be super, super fun if, for my playthroughs that I'm going to end up doing, if I have him be our acting Hercule Poirot. So he will be deducing things, figuring stuff out, and it'll be my job to control and be his Watson, basically. I don't know if there is an equivalent Watson to Hercule Poirot. I believe he mostly acts alone, but he does take help from time to time. It's not like, I think he just doesn't have a permanent assistant, you know what I mean? A permanent second, like Sherlock Holmes and Watson is the example I've used. Agatha Christie Death on the Nile, it will be available September the 25th of 2025, and it's going to be coming to Windows, Mac operating systems, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 5. I'm super excited to play the rest of this game, and if you like detective games in a really fun setting with a really charming, dashing protagonist with a fantastic mustache, I'd suggest you take a look. I think you might really, really like this. I gotta admit, I found the gameplay so far to be quite easy to get into. It's quite straightforward. The tutorial does give you quite a lot of things to kind of digest and investigate. But it's played really smoothly so far. I've actually been thoroughly enjoying it. I think one of my favorite parts is at the end of the prologue, or I suppose maybe even in the other cases, you have to start putting together the actual timeline of events of the crime, right? And so in the prologue, it was like, oh, okay, who was able to steal the ring from the safe and stuff like that. And you have to you go through these little time segments. And you have to put the people in the certain places doing the certain actions and stuff, and make sure it all lines up. Really, really well done. I gotta say, I really, really enjoyed that. I'm looking really forward to playing some more of this game, and well, who knows? Maybe we'll get to see some of the playthrough very soon when me and my dad link back up. Thank you so much yet again for this opportunity. This has been fantastic, and well, we'll see you for whatever's next. Take care out there.